Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's Hindu newspaper. First of all, I'll let you know important topics of the day, and later on we are going to analyze each and every topic from prelims and mains dimension, and at last I'll be giving you prelims practice questions also, guys, so please do follow until last. Okay, don't skip this video anywhere. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. The first one is 13 killed in explosion at fireworks. This article is talking about fireworks accident and it happened this time in Kerala. This topic is important from GS paper 3 under disaster management. And next topic is panel formed by Lok Sabha Speaker reviews disqualification under anti-defection law at Puri meet. This article is talking about anti-defection law, and recently Lok Sabha Speaker formed a panel, and this panel is focusing on disqualification of members of political party, and especially they are talking about the review of anti-defection law, and this topic is important from GS paper 2 under polity. And third one is Guwahati High Court orders Assam government to stop buffalo fights. This article is talking about buffalo fights in state of Assam, and this topic is important from your polity because High Court gave this orders to ban this buffalo fights. And next one is there is one image in our newspaper. It is related to Earth Day. So here you have to see about some facts regarding this Earth Day. This is important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is about endeavour speech. Our Prime Minister came up with national-wide address on April 18th. Because of this, the opposition party members are saying that it is violation of Model Code of Conduct. So here you have to see what is this Model Code of Conduct. Why speech of Prime Minister is the violation of MCC. And this topic is important from polity point of view. And next topic is India's LPG crisis is the wake-up call. It cannot ignore. In our studies class also we discussed about what should be the India's action related to this shortage of LPG, and the same thing which appeared in our today's newspaper also. So these all are the articles now we are going to discuss. See this title, guys, read out the title. 13 killed in explosion at fireworks unit set up for Thrissur Puram festival. What is this article talking about? Think, did we discuss this kind of article in the recent classes? Yes. Where exactly, in which state this accident happened? In Tamil Nadu. So now they are organizing Puram festival in this Kerala region, and they set up fire worker unit to supply fire workers for this Puram festival in Kerala. In this unit, explosion happened. Because of that, around 13 were killed and many were injured. So how can you get a question? Because of this frequent accidents in this fireworks unit in India. Last week we discussed in Tamil Nadu, now in Kerala, and last month or before 2 months we discussed in AP, right? And every year minimum 10 this kind of accidents that we will see in our country. That means it is a major problem. So if in that single event, if 10 to 15 people are dying, if you are having this kind of at least 10 events in a year, how many people will be dying? More than 150 people will be dying. More than 150 people in our country, if they are dying, means it is not a small thing. And who will be dying majorly? The owners will be dying? No, labor will be dying. That means, can we think this topic from the labor rights perspective? And we have lots of acts in our country. We have labor codes. They are focusing on safety of our people. Despite of having all those laws, labor codes, everything, if we can't save the lives of people, what is the use of that? Are you understanding? That means whatever the loopholes we have in our labor laws, you have to think about that. And you have to think like how we can clear that loopholes so that we can enhance safety and security for the people. That is one dimension that you have to think. And next one is frequent accidents in these units are happening, you have to see what exactly the reasons, and you have to see what are the measures taken by the government so far. And in yesterday's or day before yesterday's class, we discussed about factory acts, we discussed about child labor prohibition act, we discussed about security of people, everything, right? Explosives act, which work came up during this British era time, right? And we are not at all interested to change that laws even after we got our independence. So you have to think that point of view, and how we can change those acts which are already existing in our country, and which kind of additional measures we can take to overcome this problem. You have to see that, guys. Are you understanding? So this is like repeated topic, and we discussed most of those content, and I already said that you will be getting even case study, and today I will be giving you case study regarding this. I will be creating one situation, I will be asking you questions in this case study format. Try to write that today, okay? Yeah, see this next article, guys. Look at the title. Read out the title. Panel formed by Lok Sabha Speaker reviews disqualification under anti-defection law at Puri meet. What is the keyword? Read this title and tell me the keyword. Keyword is? Yes, keyword is anti-defection law. And anyone, any more keyword that you can see here apart from anti-defection law? Here there is a panel. Panel is nothing but group of members, right? Lok Sabha Speaker. So here you have to see about, first of all, what is this anti-defection law, and you have to see what are the problems of anti-defection law, and you have to see why this panel is formed now by Lok Sabha Speaker. Everything is interconnected, and you will be getting lots of questions from this area in your prelims, guys, and you have to focus on this. Okay, tell me, guys, what is the meaning of anti-defection law? I'll tell you in a simple language. There is a person who is contesting in elections from a political party. Let us take this political party name 1. Political party 1, he is from that party and he contested in elections. And finally, he won in the election. Okay, after winning election, if he changes to political party 2, is it right? So many times you will be seeing this news, like 3 members from Congress are joining BRS, 3 members from BRS or joining some other party. You will be seeing this kind of headlines, right? After once they are winning the election from one political party, if they are shifting to another political party, is that right? No. Why it is not right? People are believing that from that political party he will be serving us. That is the one reason. And if they are moving from one political party to another political party, can we maintain political stability? No, right? If from the ruling party, if they are going to opposition party, if they want to pass this no confidence motion, then will that pass? If not confidence motion is passed, then what happened? That government has to resign. No, there will be no political stability. So because of this reason, to stop this kind of shifting from one political party to another political party, we came up with this anti-defection law. Anti-defection law will disqualify the people who are shifting from one political party to another political party. Are you understanding? So when we came up with our constitution, at that time there is no provision of anti-defection law. At that time we didn't think that the people will be shifting from one political party to another political party. At that time we used to have lots of ethics from this, because of this Indian national freedom struggle, and because of that circumstance at that time people had lots of ethics, but now people have the lots of ethics. If they are getting money, they are shifting. Yes, it is a common thing. So because of this, at that time when we adopted our constitution, at that time when we were making this constitution, at that time there was no thought of shifting of one political party to another political party. So they didn't included this anti-defection law in our constitution. But we included this anti-defection law by this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1985. By the time of 1985, we got this problem of shifting of people from one political party to another political party. By this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, we came up with this anti-defection law, and we included in Schedule 10 of Indian Constitution. Okay, and we started disqualifying people who are shifting, and there are 4 grounds for disqualification, and you have to remember this on this UPSC asked question. So first one is, I am from this so and so political party. I am voluntarily, without any pressure, if I am shifting from one political party to another political party, I will be disqualified. Simple. For example, I am elected from that so and so political party, and I am shifting from that political party to another political party voluntarily, then I will be disqualified. Second one is, if I am an independent member. Do you know this independent member? Yes, if I won my seat as an independent member, if I am joining any political party, then I will be disqualified as an independent member. I should not join any political party. Okay, if I am joining means obviously disqualified. And third one here is nominated member. You know, president will be nominating some members. Yes, in Rajya Sabha, how many members will be nominated? 12 members based on their knowledge in arts, science, etc. If a nominated member joins any political party, within 6 months it's okay. After nomination 6 months it's okay. But after 6 months, if they are joining any political party, then disqualified. Okay, these are the 3. It is related to shifting from one political party to another political party. And listen this 4th one, it is something different. You know whip, right? Okay, recently Constitutional Amendment Bill 131, Constitutional Amendment Bill placed in our Parliament in Lok Sabha. Did it pass? No. Why? Because of lack of special majority. Yes, that means there is a person in a political party who will be guiding that political party members to vote in favor or against. Yes or no? For example, I am from BJP party. So entire this BJP party will be having one person who will be saying that entire party members to vote in the favor of that bill or against that bill. That is called as whip. If whip says to me to vote in favor, but I don't like personally, if I voted against, that means I didn't follow the whip. In that condition also, I will be disqualified. Are you understanding? So these are the 4 important grounds on which disqualification of members will be happened. 3 are based on changing of political party or joining of political party. It's related to political party. And third one is, if I am not following the whip or direction of my political party, obviously I will be get disqualified. Are you understanding? And who is the authority to decide whether that comes under disqualification or not? Presiding officer. Who is this presiding officer? Again in Lok Sabha we have speaker, in Rajya Sabha we have vice president or chairman. Yes, chairman in Rajya Sabha, speaker in Lok Sabha is the deciding person whether that comes under disqualification or not. Okay, but what is the time period? Do we have any time period? Within 1 month or within 3 months or within 1 year or within 4 years or 5 years they can decide. The problem here with this anti-defection law is there is no time limit prescribed. Okay, within that time you have to act. If there is no time limit, what happen? Will they work? That is a major problem with this anti-defection law. There is no time limit prescribed. In that, this people have to decide. That is, speaker and chairman has to decide whether that comes under disqualification or not. And many a times what happen? There will be like partiality, biasness can be seen. If that speaker, if he is from ruling party, if ruling party members are having this kind of defections, like they are coming from other party and if they are joining this ruling party, will he decide that this disqualification? If ruling party members are going and joining other political party, then he will act, yes or no, if he is favor in that political party. So even the second important one is, problem here is biasness. Speaker or chairman is showing bias. Okay, and recently removal of speaker is also in news. Yes or no? Why removal of speaker resolution is in news? Is acting in the favor of ruling party, and he also not allowing to speak. Especially Rahul Gandhi is not allowed to speak in that sessions because of one book which is there in news. Can you recall that everything? So because of that, now what happened is, now Lok Sabha speaker, he arranged one panel. Panel is nothing but group of people, and these people, they are now discussing about this anti-defection law. What are the constitutional mandate and what is the procedure and everything they are discussing now. This panel is there now in Puri. Puri is in which place? Odisha. In Odisha, they had this meet and they are discussing about this anti-defection law. If once discussions will be completed, this panel will come up with a report which includes what? Recommendations, what can be done related to this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. And this report will be given to whom? Who set up? Lok Sabha Speaker. Lok Sabha Speaker, they will give this report. And after that again we'll get articles related to that. But here in this 2026 prelims, for sure you will be getting a question related to this anti-defection law. Okay, on which points they will focus? First one is they will say that anti-defection law comes under Schedule 12 of Indian Constitution. It is under Schedule 10. Second point is they will say anti-defection law is present in original Constitution. No, it is added later on. And they will ask you about these grounds. What are the grounds on which a person can be disqualified under Schedule 10? We have 4 grounds. They can change. And next one is they may ask about time limit. Already in UPSC earlier they asked question on time limit. Speaker has to give his opinion within 1 month. No, there is no time limit. Okay, and who is the deciding authority, final authority? Speaker or chairman. On these 5 to 6 areas, UPSC will frame statements and you have to be clear. Okay, that is this article, guys, nothing more than that. Okay, so why they arranged this panel? The first one here is there are frequent delays because of no time limit. Yes. And next one here is in multiple cases, like in cases of Telangana, Manipur, Maharashtra, there are some allegations from political parties that speaker is showing no action. There is inaction of speaker and many a times there is biasness. And now these political parties are asking that we need to have a time bound decision. Within that time, they have to give the decision. And they are asking that we need to have some reforms in this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Because of that, they are asking this case. That's it. And I explained everything about this anti-defection law. And you have to remember one important point. There are some exceptions when a person cannot be disqualified. There are 2 provisions. First one is in our day before yesterday's class we discussed about deputy chairman. Who is the deputy chairman who is elected for the 3rd term? Huh? Okay, Harivansh. Harivansh elected as deputy chairman. So deputy chairman means who will be how the elections will happen. In that, members of Rajya Sabha only, we will elect one person. Even speaker is also one person in that Lok Sabha. Deputy speaker is also one person in Lok Sabha. And even chairman is nothing but vice president. If you are electing these people from that members, normally vice president keep it aside, speaker, deputy speaker and as well as deputy chairman, if you are electing from that members of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, for sure they will be coming from one political party. So they have to resign to that political party. In that case, it will not considered as a disqualification because they are holding a constitutional post. Are you understanding? The members of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha from which we will be selecting a speaker, deputy speaker or chairman, if they are elected to that post, there is no disqualification because they have to leave that political party to act impartially. And next one here is if there is a political party, if 2/3 of political party is coming out and merging with another political party, that merger will also not considered as disqualification, that to 2/3. Earlier, we used to have only 1/3 split happens, and 1/3 if they are merging in any political party, it is not a disqualification earlier. Because of that, lots of misuse happened, and later on we came up with 91st Constitutional Amendment Act, and we changed it from 1/3 to 2/3. Okay, so these two are exceptions. On this also UPSC can ask a question. Okay, merger. If 2/3 of its members are joining any political party, will not come under disqualification. And next one is speaker, chairman or deputy chairman resign to the political party to remain neutral is also not a disqualification. And what is the role of this presiding officer? Presiding officer will be the final authority to decide whether it is defection or not. And next one is whatever the action taken by this speaker or chairman can subject to judicial review. Very important point. So if you are getting any question, any statement, this is the one trap normally used by UPSC. If you see the PYQs of UPSC, in statements they will say that the decision will not come under judicial review. There is nothing which is exempted from judicial review. If you see any statement, not judicial review, completely strike down that. There is no provision which is not coming under judicial review. Everything will come under judicial review. That is the one trap will be used by UPSC. Don't think that much. Amma, judicial review, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, this or that, this or that. Just strike down that. That will be for sure 100% wrong, because everything will come under judicial review. You can see around 10 to 12 questions from PYQs based on that only. That's what. If you see this PYQs, then you'll understand exactly what are the traps. Okay. This is about this topic, guys. See this next image. What is this image? Chimpanzee. What is it eating? Watermelon. Summer chills is also seen in animals. Okay. What is there in the other hand? Chips packet. Is it eating chips also? Chimpanzees? Huh? Can you see what is written under that? On the eve of Earth Day, a chimpanzee relishes a slice of watermelon while holding a snack packet, chips packet discarded by visitor at Indira Gandhi Zoological Park in Visakhapatnam. I think we discussed about this park yesterday. Why we discussed? Yes, Black Panther. After 40 years, now once again this Indira Gandhi Zoo is going to display Black Panther in Visakhapatnam. And this image also took from that zoo only. And they said that on one side, we are focusing on animals, biodiversity. On another side, this kind of things are affecting this biodiversity. So this image is interlinking with plastic with animals. Are you understanding here? So here this image is talking about Earth Day. Every year on 22nd April we'll celebrate Earth Day. Okay, here if you are getting this kind of days, for sure one question in your environment section will be from this. They'll be asking you what is this day and what is the theme of 2026, because we are writing 2026 exam. So what is the theme of 2026 and who will organize this and what is the aim of this kind of celebrations? If you see PYQs, many a times they asked in this way question, and this format of questions are increasing from 2022 onwards. Before that, they didn't focus much on these days, but nowadays, because of social media, you are celebrating every day. So UPSC is also testing like whether you know the significance of that day or not. Every year on 22nd April, we are celebrating this Earth Day, and it had been started by US. And from 1970 onwards, we are celebrating this Earth Day every year. Okay, and this 2026 theme, please make a note. Our planet, our power, our planet. And even 2025 theme also same thing. Our power, our planet. And this theme is focusing on increasing of renewable energy production by 2030. Why? Because if you are focusing on fossil fuels or non-renewable fuels, that will lead to increased carbon dioxide emissions, global warming, climate change, whatnot, you know everything. So here we are focusing on Increasing of our renewable energy by 2030 is our target under our power our planet of 2026 and 2025 theme as well. Okay, now let us see some important facts here. So why we started from 1970? There is a major event that happened in US. In US in 1969, one year before this 1970, there was a great oil spill. Do you know this oil spill? Oil falls on water because of difference in density. Density will be more for water compared to that of oil. Because of that, oil will float on water. We are also keeping this water lamps that become very trend in Insta, everything, right? Because of difference in density, oil will float on the water. So if oil will float on the water on this ocean seas while we are transporting crude oil, for example, you know, India is getting crude oil from different countries. How they will supply? Through ships, through tankers. Suddenly accident happened. Ship met accident with another ship. Then this oil will be leaking out. Because of difference, it will be forming a layer. Have you ever seen the images of oil spill? Just see, it will be like tragic. The crude oil will be the black color. It will be forming the black layer and it will spread through kilometers wide. And beneath that, what happens? We have aquatic animals. If oil is forming a layer, it will not allow this oxygen and as well as carbon dioxide to mix with water. So because of this, animals inside the water will die because of suffocation. Okay, later on what happened? This animal will die. If animal dies, what happened? It will be floating. Oil plus dead animals will be like a very bad combination to clean that area. Okay. Okay, let us see here. In 1969, a massive oil spill happened in US. And at that time, they thought that environment is also very important. We have to protect environment, then only we can continue our life. From that time onwards, from 1970 onwards, they started celebrating this Earth Day. Okay. And because of that Earth Day, they came up with lots of acts in US. They came up with US Environmental Protection Agency. And next they came up with Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and even Endangered Species Act. And later on, that led to this modern environmental acts. In our country also we have NGT, yes, we have Water Pollution Act, we have air pollution related everything, right? We have Environment Protection Act, we have Wildlife Protection Act, we have sites, everything. Those everything started from this case because of this oil spill. And if you see the organizations which are behind this Earth Day are Earth Day org. It is a global coordinator for campaigns of Earth Day. And we have UNEP. I think you might have heard about UNEP, which will be releasing lots of reports related to environment. Even UNEP is also back of this, and UNFCCC. Okay. And here now you have to see that yes, we are celebrating this Earth Day. We are promoting awareness about environment. You have to understand what exactly the threats for our environment. Tell me guys, what are the threats for our environment? Do we have any challenges for our environment? Online students, tell me in the comment box. First one is climate change. Increasing of global warming is major threat. Next one is biodiversity loss. Many species they had been extincted in our planet Earth, right? And next one is air pollution, major problem every year in month of November, December, and as well as January in Delhi, you will be having these articles, only these articles mainly, majorly. And next one is we have plastic pollution. See the data here, every year 11 million tons of waste plastic will be ended up in oceans. We have Great Pacific Garbage Patch. You know this, in Indian Ocean also we have this garbage patch. You know these gyres, right? Gyres in ocean currents. What is gyre? Whenever water will be moving in circular motion, this hot water currents and as well as cold water currents, in between there will be there will be no movement of water. That is called as a gyre. So whenever we are releasing any pollutant into these oceans, they will be moving, and finally they will settle in the between, in middle, in center. At the gyres we have this Great Pacific Garbage Patch. In Indian Ocean also we have Indian Ocean Garbage Patch, like that. And this one is we have problem of water stress, water scarcity. Within 15 days you will face this in your hostels. Your hostels will be getting water from water tanks. Mark my words, within 15 days you will have this problem. No water. If you open the taps also, water will not come. You have to call your water. They'll say the water cans are not available. Water tanks are not available. Wait for one day. There is no water. And even you will be getting circulars like don't use water in this time. Only use water in this time. Only they will ask you to fill the buckets and keep under your beds also. Yes or no? Last year you got this kind of circulars. No idea. Very good. You will get this thing. And this one here is soil degradation. Already 30% of our soil which is present in India already degraded. So all these are the major environmental problems that you are facing. So because of this, we have to take immediate actions to control this case. See this article, very important article of the day, and you may get a question in prelims on this. Read this. Guwahati High Court orders Assam government to stop buffalo fights. What is this article talking about? Buffalo fights? Yes. Who is saying to stop this? Guwahati High Court. This buffalo fight is called as Mojuj. Mojuj. Please make a note and keep star mark for this. Mojuj. First of all, we have to understand what this Mojuj is about. And later on, we have to see what Assam government did. And later on, we have to see what High Court of Guwahati said. Okay. So, Mojuj is nothing but buffalo fight. So, which is a famous festival we see in this Assam, we discussed recently. Bihu festival, right? In yesterday's class also we discussed about elephant contest in this Bongali Bihu. In this Bihu we have majorly 3 types of Bihu. Under that one is Magh Bihu. Magh means nothing but Magha Masam, have you heard? In the month of January, February, we will be having this month. In that month, this tribal people of Assam will celebrate this Magh Bihu. In that Magh Bihu, one event is they will conduct buffalo fights. And the name of that buffalo fight event is Mojuj. Okay, now let us see about this Mojuj first. Mojuj was introduced by 30th Ahom king. His name is Swargadiyo Rudrasingha. And this event had introduced in Assam state 200 years ago. Okay, because of this 200 years ago, the number 200, you may expect a question this year, guys. And this year from history, there is one more important event. You may get a question here. It is about Jyoti Bapule. Jyoti Bapule is also recently celebrated 200th anniversary. You may get question on this Jyoti Bapule and students who are writing this year. For sure, they have to go and search each and nook and every corner of Jyoti Bapule, Satyashodak Samaj, like that, whatever he did, everything you have to know. Jyoti Bapule and Savitri Bapule together you have to see. And you have to focus on this Satyashodak Samaj. This time you may get a question on that for sure. Last time they gave about which area? Servants of India. Huh? They asked about self-respect movement because of this only. And this time you may get question regarding this Satyashodak Samaj, who came up, or else they may give in detailed statements of Jyoti Bapule. Like that you have to find out the topics, guys. No one will tell. You have to, by yourself, you have to see PYQs and you have to identify why they give that question. That kind of analysis you need to do, so that you can expect minimum 50 to 60 topics. If you guess 60 to 50 topics from which for sure UPSC can give you the question, from that if you are getting at least 25 to 30 questions also, like you will be doing that for sure. And remaining with your static knowledge, if you are doing around 25 to 30, then your prelims is clear, no? In that way you have to find out the topics on which UPSC can ask the question. Okay, so here because of this 200 years ago it had been introduced in Assam, you may get a question on this. Mojuj is seen recently in news. What it is? ABCD. Simple question. Okay. And next one here is, it is celebrated during this Magh Bihu. Magh Bihu is a harvest festival in Assam held in month of January to February. Okay, and they started celebrating this tradition since 1972 onwards. And in this buffalo fight, they will use wild buffaloes. They will not use domestic buffaloes. You know domestic buffaloes, right? Which we rear in our homes for milk and milk products. Those are domestic buffaloes. But they will use this wild buffaloes. Have you seen this Bahubali movie? In that Bahubali movie, there will be one fight. Can you imagine that scene? That is wild buffalo. They will be using this kind of buffaloes for this buffalo fight. And where we can see those buffaloes, those buffaloes are seen in alluvial grasslands, marshes, swamp areas and river valleys. And the problem is they are endangered category. That means their number is decreasing gradually, and if you are using that animals for this kind of fights, if they die, what happens? Furthermore, decrease of number of these buffaloes can happen, right? That is a major concern. And they are listed under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act, and they are included under Appendix 3 of CITES. Okay, now the problem is with one act. So we have an act called as Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act. So here it is saying that we should not create any pain. We should not create any unnecessary pain or suffering for the animals. We have to protect the rights of animals. That is about this Prevention of Cruelty Animals Act. But if you are conducting this kind of bull events, like we have this Jallikattu, we have Kambala, we have cockfights. For this cockfights, they will be also attaching small knife to their leg. Because of that, what happened? There will cause lots of injuries to that cock in this fights, right? So because of this, what happened? It will cause severe pain. But we will not understand that pain. We need only prestige in that events, right? So for our entertainment purpose, we are creating or we are causing pain to these animals. Here this Prevention of Cruelty Act bans that. Okay, later on many a times petitions had been filed in Supreme Court related to this Jallikattu, related to Kambala, related to cockfights, everything. And finally Supreme Court came up with one judgment called as Animal Welfare Board of India versus A. Nagaraja. In 2014, Supreme Court banned using of bullock carts for entertainment activities like Jallikattu and bullock cart. So Jallikattu normally seen in which state? Tamil Nadu state. Later on, after this judgment, Tamil Nadu the Tamil Nadu government came up with a step ahead, and it passed one act to enjoy this Jallikattu, to continue this Jallikattu as a cultural part of their state. And finally, this Jallikattu has been exempted from this Prevention of Cruelty Act because of Tamil Nadu came up with one act in their states. So now here Supreme Court said that bull should not be used, buffalo should not be used. Even in Assam also, they are using this buffaloes. Now Assam government in 2025, what it did is it passed one act in the same lines of Tamil Nadu to exempt this buffalo fight from this Prevention of Cruelty Act. Now we have some animal activist, environment activist. So those group is called as PETA. Okay, they are called as People for Ethical Treatment of Animals India. And this group, they filed cases in High Court after passing of this bill in Assam. And now Guwahati High Court came into news. Guwahati High Court said that no, we should not use this buffaloes. Guwahati High Court banned using of buffaloes in this buffalo fight. That is this article. And this has not ended here. So after once High Court gives the judgment, if government of Assam is not satisfied, what they'll do? They will go for a petition, appeal petition to Supreme Court, and we have to wait and see like what Supreme Court judgment will give, how they will go for appeal, or whether they are going to remove this act or whether they are going to again pass new act or not. We have to wait and watch. So this is about this article. Are you understanding? Yes, next let us see the next article. Invidious speech. So now to understand this, we have to know about elections. State legislative assembly elections are going in which states? Elections are going on in state of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam. Apart from that, Puducherry. Okay, whenever this election date had been declared by Election Commission of India, Election Commission of India is the responsible authority to conduct elections for President, Vice President and Legislative Assemblies, right? In the month of April and May, they said that we are conducting elections and election schedule had been released by Election Commission of India. From that day onwards till the final result is declared, Election Commission of India will be imposing MCC, Model Code of Conduct. What is Model Code of Conduct? Political party or a person, what are the guidelines they have to follow? That is called as Model Code of Conduct. It is in operation in these 4 states and Puducherry. In some states, first phase of elections done, right? And the final election result had not yet been declared, right? So that means these states and this UT is in Model Code of Conduct. Whenever this Model Code of Conduct is in operation, there should not be any violation of Model Code of Conduct. But what is the issue is, on April 18th, our President gave a national-wide address by using Doordarshan channel. Do you know Doordarshan? Yes, by using this Doordarshan channel, he gave a national-wide address. In that address, he criticized opposition party. Why he criticized opposition party? Because 131 Constitutional Amendment Bill is not passed. Because of opposition party, we need special majority. But they didn't get that majority. Because of that, that bill had not been passed. Because of that bill had not been passed, they are not moving forward with delimitation. They cannot move forward with implementation of reservation for women, right? So because of this, they criticized. But this Model Code of Conduct is operational in this 4 states plus 1 UT. So if people in that area are listening to the speech of Modi ji, if he is criticizing opposition party, if that opposition party is the main party in that state, will it have impact on the elections or not? Yes, for sure it will be having impact. One speech is enough to change the mindset of people, right? Elections are going on in that region. If Prime Minister is directly criticizing opposition party related to this Constitutional Amendment Bill 131 means, obviously it may have impact on the elections in that states. Can we consider this as violation of Model Code of Conduct? Because ruling party is taking advantage of using this Doordarshan as a national media to give his national-wide address. So it is going to impact elections in these states. So now what opposition party is saying that this is Model Code of Conduct violation. Are you understanding? So this is the story, guys. Don't go in depth about which political party said what. Nothing. So see about Model Code of Conduct. Model Code of Conduct is important from your examination point of view. Here you have to see what is Model Code of Conduct, what is a provision, everything, guys. Okay, first let us see this Model Code of Conduct. Model Code of Conduct is nothing but it is a guideline, set of guidelines issued by whom? Election Commission of India. UPSC can change the statement. Model Code of Conduct is issued by central government, parliament, president. It is not other things. It is only Election Commission of India will be issuing this Model Code of Conduct. For what? To regulate the political parties and candidates during elections. Why? It is a responsibility of ECI to conduct elections free and fair. Which article tells about this? Article 324 is giving full authority, power to Election Commission of India to ensure free and fair elections. For that only Election Commission of India will be issuing Model Code of Conduct. Okay, next one here is, it comes into force immediately. When it will comes into force? Whenever this Election Commission of India declares the schedule, till final result is declared, till that time, this MCC will be in operation. Okay, and here we have certain types. If Lok Sabha is going on, means Lok Sabha election is going on, means it is covering entire country. State election, legislature assembly elections is going on, means in that specific constituency it will be having. And if there is any case of by-elections, only specific constituency will be under this MCC. What are the objectives here? First one is We have to ensure level playing field for all political parties. We have to prevent this ruling political party to dominate other political party. But here what happened, Prime Minister address is showing the domination of ruling party. And next one is we have to maintain electoral integrity, transparency, counting, everything should be like transparent and peaceful. And next one is we have to promote issue-based campaigning. Like we need to encourage the candidates to focus on the policies rather than promoting hate speech, rather than caste-based speeches, everything. So for that reason, Election Commission of India will impose as MCC. And what are the provisions of this MCC? The first one is general conduct. In that general conduct, if there are places of worship like temples, mosques, churches, basadis, whatever it may be, so there we should not propagate our propaganda of a political party. We should not use this religious places where there is a large group of people's participation. For example, if you go to Tirupati, if you go to Srisailam, we can see lots of people who are gathering there. So if we are conducting there means what happened, it is the violation of model code of conduct. We should not organize anything inside or outside these religious provisions. And next one is meetings and possessions. If any political party has to conduct any meeting, they have to inform the local police in advance, like where they are going to arrange this meeting, like venue, and as well as time, and what about the meeting plans, rallies, everything, so that they will be trying to maintain everything peace. They will be trying to avoid stampedes. Recently this Vijay issue, stampede, big issue. And this one is polling day conduct, like what is the rules and regulations they have to follow on that polling day. In the polling booth, only authorized people has to enter. Unauthorized people should not enter. And next one is they should not distribute money or liquor in that premises or outside that. And next one is election manifestos. So whenever they're going for this campaigning, they will be coming about this manifesto, like if I come into power, I'll give free washing machines to women, free cylinders for women, bikes, scooters for girls who are going to college, like that. Have you ever heard this kind of manifesto? Laptops for students and stipend for students, pensions, increasing of pensions. One thing they will always focus here is farmers loan waivers, because major chunk of population is farmers in India. So if they are attracting them, for sure they will be winning, because we need to have this. Only who is getting major votes, they will become the election winner, right? Okay, so here what are the manifestos they are coming? They should not violate the constitution. For that reason, they will have this MCC, guys. You have to remember all these things. Okay, next article, it is about India's LPG crisis is a wake-up call it cannot ignore. As you know, in yesterday's class, we discussed about why we have LPG crisis, what are the steps India has to take. The same thing, nothing more has been added here. Okay, see this question, guys. Mojo's recently seen in news. It is best described as a traditional rice harvesting festival of Assam, B, a folk dance performed during Bihu celebrations, C, a traditional buffalo fighting sport of Assam, D, a traditional wrestling event practiced in Upper Assam. Let us see. Now you will say, here C options, everything is Assam Bihu. In the time of examination hall, because of that fear, anxiety, trigger at that time is important. So here, how many times you will revise the things, that much you can remember and recall, guys. You will be knowing about this. You know that folk dance, you know about rice harvesting festival, wrestling we can eliminate. But in these three statements, you will be getting confused in examination. So if you want to avoid confusion, if you have to avoid stuck in two options, you need to do multiple revisions. For that reason only I am telling this. It is a buffalo fighting sport. And next question, guys, with reference to anti-defection law, consider the following statements. First one, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha is not disqualified under anti-defection law when he or she voluntarily gives up membership of his membership as from political party. Next one, defection by at least 1/3 of elected members of a political party is considered as merger. Third one, abstaining from voting by a member of the House against the directives of his party can be considered as defection. First one is for sure right, because deputy chairman, if they are leaving the political party, yes, they have to leave because they have to maintain what? Neutrality, right? Because if chairman is not there, they will be acting as a chairman of Rajya Sabha, right? This will be right. And next one is defection by at least 1/3 of these elected members of a political party is considered as merger. I said it is before 91st Constitutional Amendment Act, it is 1/3, but after that it is 2/3. Only 2/3 members is considered as merger. Then this will be wrong statement. And next one is abstaining from voting. If you are abstaining means if you are not voting or if you are voting against the political party whip, obviously that will consider under disqualification. It is also right. And the question is asking about how many of above given statements are correct. How many statements are correct? 1, 2. Only 2 statements are correct. Are you understanding? Okay, so in this way you have to use logic in your examination. With repeated revisions only you can do this. Okay, that's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching this class, and if you like this class, please do hit the like button, please do share this class. And one more thing guys, we are going to start a new batch. Already we started yesterday itself, so try to join this course either online or offline. And if you have any queries, please do contact us on this number 8074765551. And thank you so much guys.